My name is Kristen, and I am a sixth grade science teacher at Pueblo Middle School, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about classroom management. For myself personally, I know my first year, one of the things that made me most nervous about the school year was that classroom management piece, and specifically the noise level in the class and whether or not my kids were on task and doing what they needed to be doing. Being in a middle school science room, there's a lot of activity that goes on, there's a lot of noise, and there's a lot of individual group work. That's one of the most effective ways that I see my kids learning, and when they're most engaged in their work is when there is noise in the classroom. They have to be able to talk to each other. They have to be able to have conversations and ask questions and not be hesitant to do so. In order for that not to be chaotic, I had to set up those classroom management procedures at the beginning of the year. So even the little things like where your students turn in their work when they're finished, or how they come in the classroom and what the expectations are at the very beginning of the day, setting off that tone for the rest of the class period. Or it could be what they do when they have a question, or if they need to get up out of their seat or get into groups to work. Those small things that seem not as important at the beginning of the year will set the tone for the rest of the school year, because I can then, as a teacher, focus my attention on the students and on their learning and not on the smaller classroom management things, because those are strategies that have already been implemented and that my students really understand. Set up those strategies at the beginning so that your students understand you have clear expectations, and then to share those expectations with your students. It's not something that you should assume that they remember, or you assume that if you say it once, they've got it and they're good to go, but to go back and review them and to model those for them as well. To say, as a teacher, this is what turning in your work should look like, or this is what it should look like if you have a question. And to be able to go back and review those expectations, because then you're going to be able to really set your students up for success.